I was told to deliver this message. This message. You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll
fight for my brothers. We can go to war. Fighting for my father, I will give my life for. I feel so alone in this white man's world. Whip it in and get you, watch that white turn pearl. Standing on the corner, standing on my phone. Standing with my gangsters, but I'm standing on my own. If you let it be his own, split you like you be alone. Sacrifice my life, understanding each his own. Toast to the keys of success. Bel Air rose on my breath. I've been a student since '03, and we can fight till we see peace.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Let me holler at you for a minute, give you game. Real scrappy, love the bottom, Buddha bang. Trigger happy, and everybody in the game. You shot your family and didn't even know it, man. Same rules, same code, with a different slang. Struck him out, now they took him out the picture frame. Mama, don't cry, we gon' get by. 2 weeks later, got killed in a drive-by. Go why? Must we fight amongst each other? Reach one, each one, teach one, my brother. I teach them how to fight on the grass and in the class. Snoop Dogg, all stars, yes sir, they coming fast. D1, football, we won. Now proud of my son, Lil Snoop, yes sir, cause he won. Right on, SC, fight on. We 100, keep it coming, dip, slip, slide on, light on.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Watching the warriors, the story of the rebels. You from the ghetto, did you know never to settle? I'm Tutankhamun on the streets, I'm a pharaoh. Battling in African-American apparel. Fists on a t-shirt, youngins doing street work. Grinding till they teeth hurt, that's because they need work. Working till the feet hurt, trying to get my soul right. Used to be on old bikes, serving them that cold white. Wars in the winters, the block is hot in summers. Today's mathematics, we know it's strength in numbers. To the bosses and the runners, the hustlers and the stunners. We fight for the hundreds, we fight for the oneness.
He fights with the heat. He fights with the sleet. He said, I am who I am. I can't be beat. Nobody has won a war against me. I fight like that. 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 I fight.
When it comes to chasing our dreams, the only way I know to track our progress is to create milestones. Milestones show us what we are accomplishing and allow us to see how we accomplish even more. If you have stopped to read any of the statistics or articles on goal setting before, you will have read two things. One, people without goals are not as successful as they hope to be. Two, people who don't write down goals are less likely to accomplish them. What I have found over the last 10 years of dream chasing is how important goals are in the grand picture of seeing your dreams come true. Goals give us momentum to push through adversity we experience while chasing our dreams. This year, there was a huge push not to set goals. People were sharing about how terrible they felt last year when they failed to meet their goals, or how they never really followed through with achieving them. So, should we even set goals to try to see our dreams come true? Yes! The problem for so many people is that they haven't created goals which will help them succeed, and their inability to follow through because of fear or poor goal creation holds them back. This was me about 10 years ago. I would set goals at the beginning of the year and then never go back and look at them. I would have these really vague, general ideas of things I wanted to accomplish, but never create action steps or any plans to achieve anything. This is why goals fail. You have probably heard of the SMART goal system. This is a great system. In fact, when I finally got tired of never accomplishing my goals, I learnt about it and started to see some of my goals achieved. And then I learnt about the ER in goal setting. Let's start putting some goals together using the SMARTer system. Specific. Sounds pretty simple, right? Just write something down that is specific. The question is, how specific do I need to be? The answer? The more specific you are, the easier it will be to quantify your results along the way. For example, if you want to lose weight, to be more specific, how much weight do you want to lose? Better yet, what weight would you like to be at the end of pursuing your goal? A specific goal says this: I will weigh 200 pounds. We want to quantify our goals. To make a goal measurable, we need to be able to see progress over time. Say your goal is to write a novel. How do we make it measurable? You will need to make it very specific and measurable by going into more detail which you can track. A specific goal for writing a novel is, I will complete writing a 50,000 word novel. Every goal should be actionable in terms of getting somewhere. However, when writing goals, we are talking about writing it as an action. A goal is actionable when it is immediately clear what action needs to be taken to accomplish it. A simple way to make items actionable is to begin them with a verb. So, try this. I will read 24 books. The R in the equation is relevant or relatable. Is your goal relevant or relatable to your life? When you are setting goals, this is the pragmatic look at what you want to do. When you set a goal, you need to think about your current situation. Some people will tell you to make a 10 times goal. Create a goal that is nearly impossible to force you to stretch yourself. While I think this is good, it's not for the first timer or for someone struggling at their goals. You need to create goals you can accomplish at your stage in life. Are you a father of 3 small children who works 2 jobs? You may not be able to work out 3 hours a day if you want to reach 3% body fat. Try this. I will decrease my percentage body fat by 10%. My start percent is X. Every goal needs a deadline. Why? So you are forced to take action in a certain time frame. Simply saying you will do something isn't good enough. You need to say when you will complete it. This way, you will need to map your path to success. Otherwise, you will always have the goal, but never have the urgency to accomplish it. Going back to the novel example, I will write a 50,000 word novel by December the 31st. Evaluate. This is where the rubber meets the road when it comes to your goals. We need to regularly evaluate our progress. When I ask people how often they looked at their goals, they say a few times over the year. This is why people fail at their goals. I evaluate my goals every month, and every week I read them. This helps me to remember what I am trying to do and make sure I take action every week. If there is anything you do differently about your goals, this needs to be it. Reward. Every goal and milestone needs a reward. We love getting something for a job well done. And when we are working towards our dreams, these little earned items help us to celebrate our milestones and be ready for the next step. Here is an example of a reward for paying off debt. Pay off debt by December the 31st. Buy one thing for $100 you would never buy for yourself. You may have really struggled with goals before, and if you're like me, You might have even failed all of the goals you set yourself in a year. But this doesn't have to be true of you anymore. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. C.S. Lewis. I love this quote because it reminds me how the goals we set for ourselves now, no matter our age or station in life, will help us change our story in the end. They will help us chase our dreams and see them come true.
Ready for Evolution, and welcome to another edition of Class is in Session. I'm your brother and friend, Brother Eric Trey Muhammad. Pray all is well with you and yours as we start our day with goals. Big ups to everybody here this morning. I want to thank you for the opportunity to share with you again in another live stream. So we're setting goals here today, family, and we're doing this because in order to accomplish your dreams, you have to have goals. You have to have some measure or some plan of action by which you intend to make it happen. So with that being said, we're going to move in that way. We're going to move in that way to help develop the goal, because the overall desire is to have the lifestyle of our dreams. So, you see that screen right there in front of you? You see that screen right there with that nice little picture? Some of you remember where that's from. The first 10 people that can tell me why that picture is posted and from where, you're going to receive a gift from me via email or text. So I'm looking for the first 10 people to tell me when this was introduced and what's the backdrop, what's the story behind it, as best as you can tell us. Okay. So we want to set goals. Goals lead to growth achieved. Goals lead to growth. Achieved goals help us to do better and be better. All right. And so this is quite significant in our development, because as we goal set, the more we work towards it and on it, the greater the victory in accomplishing some of those goals, then the greater confidence that's built, and we grow into great pursuit of who we are. We may know what we want day to day, but it's a whole nother thing to realize and reassess after you climb that mountain, after you met that objective. Then what now? Do you go on to create another goal? Do you add on to the goal that was there? You might have a goal time like myself. I had goals written all over the house over the years. Well, not years, but over the last, near 2 years now. I had goals set out around the house, and I found some of them, a couple of them sort of ragged, but still nonetheless. I mean, I had them on microwaves. I had them on the side of the refrigerator. I had them at bathroom doors. Everywhere that I could think of that I would frequent on a regular basis through the day, it was found. It was like wallpaper. Family be straight up upset because, it didn't look nice. So look, I had goals that I set for myself. 40,000 affiliate downline by the end of 2020, 1,000 affiliates saving at 1 gram of gold monthly, 50 new sponsored affiliates monthly in 2020. These are goals that I set all around the house from 2018, and you work towards them. Now, when you get to a point where they're not reached, do you quit? No, you just push the date back as you reassess the commitment, as you reassess the steps that you had taken towards it, and as you evaluate how you will now proceed. So those are very important yardsticks of measure. Goals give measurement. And so we're going to go through some of that. But again, those who recall where this was presented from me and why, in what context, then you have something coming from me. The first 10 people, it'll be either emailed to you or text message, depending upon who gets it. All right. So a big shout out to everyone that's on the stream. Yes, Brother William Hafiz Bey, I am also ready for financial revolution. It is absolutely necessary. I kid us not. Good morning, Sister Tamika. Tamika, please check your email. There's a gift there from us. Make sure you check your email. Good morning, Brother Ronnie Deef out of Virginia. Sister Alicia, my mentor, Marshall, good to see you, Queen. I'll pass on the salams to the family. Brother David Logan, good to see you again. Sister Santoya Stacy, yep. Tracy in the house from the Yak, baby. CC Mahone, man, that was a great testimony last night on the Freedom Call from Mr. Best. And, you know, I can only echo those sentiments. And we love you, sister, and we appreciate all the wisdom that you give us. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Janetta Muhammad. All praise be to Allah. I'm glad you did, sister. I'm glad you did. All right, so now let's move on with housekeeping rules. Housekeeping rules. Have you paid yourself first lately? A tenth of a gram saved every day creates a legacy free from want and lack for future generations. Please embrace that. You will always hear me express this over and over and over and over and over again. Hey, Brother Kwame Binta, ready for revolution. Over and over again. This is the bedrock. Keep the main thing the main thing. When we come to this wealth building opportunity, those of you on the stream who may not be familiar, we are independent affiliates, most of us from Carabal's International. And what do? We save in gold and we get paid to save. We save our money in gold, we get paid to save. And we get paid under a magnificent referral program, and we build a network. That means like we get paid to save by commission, by our earnings, by our values. Then we share with other people what we do. They duplicate what we do, and we get paid for the referral and for them accepting the referral. Isn't that hot? And look, you don't have to punch no clock to do it. It's complete residual income. So those of you who might have invited you to the stream, you may not be as familiar, go back to the one who invited you, let them know you're ready to get started with this opportunity and learn more. If no one has invited you, hey, you have an open invitation from your brother. Let's talk, let's build, and let's help you to accomplish the reality and the lifestyle of your dreams. So we pay ourselves first, folks. We pay ourselves first. There's a future at stake if we don't do this. Okay, well beyond where, you know, many of us already past the stage of having children, but our children are having children and their children will eventually have children. There's a whole lineage down the road, well after we're gone, where their world can be better because we came today. Pay yourself first. All right. The way to change the nature of our experiences is to change the nature of our thoughts. Well, how do you do that? You keep yourself honed in, like minds, like skill sets. Everybody combines with goals and objectives. All right. I want to share with you these opportunities that are coming up today. We have our illustrious power call and our 12 noon and 9 p.m. presentations all on the same platform, www.goldrocks.info. 10:45 a.m. Is the power call, and at 10:45 that pre-call starts. You really want to be there to catch the beginnings of it. Our brother, Mr. Gold Collector himself, Mr. Dante Taylor of Kalfani Radio West, will be on the set. He'll be on handling the ones and twos for the 10:45 a.m. presentation. And then we move on to the 12 noon presentation. And I believe that 12 noon, actually, I don't know who does 12 noon today. I don't know, but it's going to be fire. All right. And then again at 9 p.m. this evening. Okay. All on WBW goldrocks.info, goldrocks.info. Okay. And tonight on Kalfani Radio, boy, oh boy, I'm so excited. I waited months for this presentation right here. The man, the myth, the legend, the straw that stirs the doggone drink. I mean, I'm talking about Dr. Sergio Razel. He is the 2020 Let's Go Weekend 10 Big Boomer Award recipient. And he gives tonight's monthly State of the Union presentation on the Kalfani Radio Facebook page. And I'm telling you, you do not want to miss the silent bat. I mean, he quietly leads. He does things with his time, with his commitment that are well beyond description. You want to be there and get some of these nuggets that are dropped tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, on the Kalfani Radio Facebook page, Dr. Sergio Razel, the monthly State of the Union presentation. Okay, it is going to be fire. It's absolutely going to be fire. Sister Jada says it was Ramadan and you realized you had saved a lot of money because you weren't drinking as much coffee. you were buying at least 3 to 5 cups a day, and you realized this was your surplus. You bought a book, I think, called Latte. Okay. Sister CC Mahone, serving at minimum 1/10 of a gram a day gives you appropriately 3 grams a month. I think you meant approximately there. Multiply that by 12 months, you're building generational wealth. That is a fact. That is a fact. Man, oh man. All right, so here we go. Goals lead to growth. Achieved goals lead us to do better and be better. You know, there was a presentation, a book that was written by John C. Maxwell some years ago. I think it was called The 14 Indelible Laws of Goal Setting. You know, and he always talked about, you know, he's a preacher. You know, he was a preacher before he became one of the world's most renowned leadership councils. Okay. And what he shared was that he had a goal. His initial goal was to increase his church membership to 500 people. He was 20 years old, I think 22. He said he wanted to increase it to 500 people. He was almost there, but that was a goal for him. And he worked at it, and they accomplished the goal. The church grew. And in his area, I think he was in Ohio, but in his area, his church was recognized as the fastest growing spiritual house in that state at that time. And it was a wonderful accomplishment. So now that he had accomplished it, he said, wow, what's next? You know, do I add on to that goal? Do I look to bring more people? Do I go about it the same way? What do I do next? And that was at the point that he realized, when he got to what's next, he realized that he was now moving in the direction of personal development, where now he was becoming a leader. And becoming a leader, now his mental expanse had developed. He is now seeing beyond the walls. He's seeing beyond the brick and mortar. He's seeing beyond the numbers inside the church. How can he expand, and with what? How did he expand? What were the skill sets inherited in an expansion? What did it mean? What could he actually offer to the rest of the world? Hence, you have John Maxwell today, because he grew through that. And because of that growth, it led to not only having more, doing better, but it led to him being better, and being better for millions around the world some 40 years later. You know, that's a heck of an accomplishment. So we goal set. I'm going to give you a Dalcoism here. He probably doesn't remember he said this, to be honest. You know, there was a conversation just the other day, and I believe it was raised yesterday. I believe it was raised by Brother Consul Hotep Atem on his show, his pre-show to the Power Call yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. And he talked about how Mr. Best and Mr. Dalco, they dropped so many nuggets on us, so much wisdom, that they probably don't remember half the things that come out of their mouth, because it comes as a point, now adding on to what he said, it comes at a point of almost revelation, you know. And for some people, it is revelation. If you didn't know it before and it hits you, it comes into your world, bang, you know, something out of nothing has materialized. That's revelation. So I call this a Dalcoism. He may not remember he even said this, but I wrote it down a year and 4 months ago. A year and 4 months ago today. Yeah. All right. He said, you can't manage what you don't measure. You can't manage what you don't measure, and you can't improve what you don't manage. I thought that was equivalent to the Reese's peanut butter commercial. You know, hey, you got your peanut butter in my chocolate. No, you got your chocolate in my peanut butter. He said, you can't manage what you don't measure. To think that you can goal set without tracking it, you think you can do it without being and be successful? You can, but not to the extent that you should. or could be, because without setting yourself up with a unit of measure, you can't improve. You don't know what you're managing. You see, you're still a little bit everywhere. Did you see in the presentation earlier where the gentleman was talking about how it took him 10 years to realize he had the goal set, and how he failed miserably at goal setting for 10 years only because there were certain elements he had not put in place? He didn't stop goal setting though, and he didn't stop dreaming. He worked to develop a system that worked for him. Now, what I shared with you was only to share with you to prick conscience, all right, and help us to understand that there are ways, there are tools by which, if you tweak them, make them fit your dream, you can accomplish the goals. And you'll find that in your goal setting, you are better for it. Look, you see that beautiful Mercedes-Benz C-Class 300 worth 40,000 euros that are behind the Dalcos there? That was earned through their goal setting to achieve their dreams. They weren't looking for it, but they set a goal against a direction, where they wanted to be with this opportunity, how many people they wanted to reach, how they were going to go about reaching these people. And the people said yes, to the tune of close to 90,000 people in his downline. And now look, he earned a briefcase. He's earned a pen. He's earned a gold bracelet. They both have. He's earned a personally handpicked Rolex watch from Dr. Harold Constantine Seitz, visionary founder of of Karatbars International. Now he received an email just a few weeks ago that he had earned the next long-term incentive, which was from the automatic long-term incentive, the Mercedes-Benz C300 class vehicle worth 40,000 euros new. Now, in the incentive programs, you need to know this, how powerful this is. First of all of you qualify for it with the free Goal Saving account. The moment you get that account is the moment you literally qualify to have your progress tracked by Karatbars, and they award you based upon your earning levels. And do you know, in this long-term incentive program, you have the option of accepting the reward or its equivalent in gold. Boy, oh boy, this thing is fire. So goal setting, all right? You have to start with goal setting. You can't manage what you don't measure, and you can't improve what you don't manage. Thank you, Mr. Dalco. Y'all got it? All right. What does goal setting do? Goals and behavior. Goals trigger behavior. Having a clear, compelling goal mobilizes your focus towards actionable behavior. In other words, goal setting should motivate you. You must have something to aspire for. It is a mental cue that triggers focus and motivates. Give you an example. Let's say you set a goal. You set a goal to get a new car. Well, what kind of car you want? Anything that moves is okay with me. Well, that's not a clear, compelling, focused goal. All right. You need to have a clear, compelling goal that mobilizes your focus, that moves you towards action. So here's another example. I want 40,000 affiliates in my downline by December 2020. Or I want to earn $50,000 by December 2020 so I can purchase X, Y, and Z. You see, a focused goal makes the difference. It triggers the behavior that's required to move into action to produce your reality. Goals require focus. Okay, goals guide your focus. When you set a goal, you naturally direct your attention towards a next step. And as a result, it leads you into the right direction, which forces your actions, your behaviors to follow. Okay. There's a saying, you probably heard it before. Whatever the mind believes, the body achieves. The body follows the mind, folks. The body follows the mind. All right. So when you set a goal and direct your attention towards it, the next result is you start moving all your actions. It force you into a direction. It forces you in direction. You know, it made me think of roadmap just now. Okay. Let's say you're on the highway and I want to drive to that far off city. Normally I would fly there from here, but now I want to drive. Some of you might have heard of it. It's called Johns Creek, Georgia. Okay. That's my little stab at Sister Cece. All right. So I could be driving there, and in driving there, I'm following directions. So I'll be on the highway and I might see a sign that says Johns Creek 4 miles. Now, when I see the sign, does that mean that I arrived? No. What it means is I'm on direction. I'm on course. And as I continue to move, I hence eventually get there. Your goal is focused, right? You know, so as you take the steps that bring you to what you hope your eventuality is, you get there. You get there. It's just that simple. I'll give you another example. Here's a goal. In 2011, right? In 2011, Dr. Seitz laid the foundation stone for his company, Karyabars International. The goal was for every human being to be able to own gold. What was once a one-man show is now a worldwide empire of companies. Check this out. But Harold Seitz has even bigger goals. A gold-based means of payment, which is crisis-proof and will revolutionize our financial system. His mission was initially just laughed at. Today, he is the market leader for innovative gold products. And yet, Seitz still sees himself at the beginning. A payment system based on gold, gold mines, and the establishment of a bank are only a few of the building blocks which he wants to lay in order to get all the way to the top. Now, hey, Brother Danny James. Now, pay very close attention to these two dates. I'm talking to Wealth Builders, affiliates of Karyabars International. June 10th and June 20th. June 10th, join us for the corporate webinar on June 10th. You'll hear more about it. You may find some things in your back office, but pay close attention. Keep your ears to the ground from our leadership. Make sure you stay plugged into all the power calls. Make sure you stay plugged into all the trainings and announcements that come from our CEOs and leadership, because we are on the verge of that revolutionizing entity called freedom. I'll share something else with you in that way. This is clearly a new day, a new paradigm, and many in the world don't know it. Many of the world are living clueless, except for the fact that they know that things will never, ever be the same, but they don't know which direction to go. And this is where you come in. This is where we come in. We come with the opportunity to show them that we have the direction, that we absolutely have the goal. How many of you on the stream were with us yesterday when we talked about the elements of money, the 5 elements of money and what they were? You know, just type me. For whoever was on the stream, just type me. When you go back, and if you didn't see it, just go to the Eric Teray Muhammad YouTube channel. You'll find the episodes from class in session there and learn those elements of money. Because just in defining the elements alone helps us to understand why many of us are in the condition that we're in. In our 90-day run to wealth, we set up a system so that by which you can identify what real money is, and then target what's in your household immediately to acquire it. You don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to find anything extra. You don't have to take on another job. You don't have to do anything additional. Just go to your people. Go to the people everywhere you can find them. Ask them this question. If I can show you how to get paid 5 times a month, saving your money in gold, would you do it? And then show them the presentation from Wealth Builders Worldwide. And the rest will be history. Follow your map. Follow those instructions. Follow the guidance of what's duplicatable. And you will come out the winner. He or she that has the biggest team wins. We are the biggest team. I'm talking about all of us collectively. I'm not talking about what I do with my organization and what you might do with your organization, Sister Alicia or Brother Danny. I'm saying collectively, we are the force that creates the new norm in the world, that helps us to realize it, to make people comfortable in shifting in this paradigm that they're unfamiliar with. But because we're walking with the dream maker and walking in step with the founder and visionary of a dream of a world free from want and lack, we're way ahead of the game. You have to have flow, and goal setting allows that to happen. Understand that goal sustains momentum. Now, this is a medically proven fact. I'm going to share something with you. This is a medically proven fact. Seeing progress is addicting. Seeing progress is addictive, right? There's a chemical that's released literally in the body and the brain, dopamine. Dopamine is released in your brain after attaining a reward. It's like a snowball rolling down a snow-capped mountainside, right? What happens? That snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger and becomes an avalanche, and it just plows through whatever's at the bottom. It gains momentum, right? Just think of the last time you were really in a zone and you're like, man, everything was just like moving for you. You said, man, I'm on a roll. That's momentum. That's a flow, folks. That's a flow. Okay. And what is a flow? A flow I define for this presentation as the optimal state of mental performance. The optimal state of mental performance. That's flow. Man, if any of you ever been DJs, any of you ever been poets or rap artists, or songwriters. David in Psalms, he was a songwriter. Okay. Paul wrote letters from the prisons to the apostles. He was a songwriter. Okay. They wrote poem and prose. Dr. King wrote letters from the Birmingham jail. He was a writer. Okay. When you have, when you reach a certain point in your skill set or craft, and you see things coming together in your mind as they start to come out your mouth, they're really like revelation, but in many respects, everything just syncs up and it causes fire in you, and you give it with a certain level of intensity and energy that you never thought would happen, that you never thought could come out of you. What is that? That, family, is that optimal state of mental performance. That's flow. You reach the flow. You're a rapper. You're dropping stuff. You're freestyling. All of a sudden, it hits a certain rhythm. You pop. You knock it right out the box. Everybody goes, whoa! Or you might be breakdancing or performing or popping and locking, whatever you do. And then you hit a certain point or a certain step, and you might throw a flip or a somersault or a split or whatever you're doing. You're 900 pounds doing it. People, whoa! You reached a certain flow where everything was accomplishable. When you goal set and you follow steps in your goal setting, when you can see the pieces coming together on how you can be better in reaching your goals, you reach flow, folks. You have to have flow. You have to have that which sustains momentum. Goals sustain momentum, but goals require the dream. Goals require desire. Goals require determination. Goals require discipline. You have to write. You have to write. Did you see the beginning of the presentation where that presented on the video talked about writing the goals down? When I talk to you about writing your list, right, on who you're going to contact, why do we write? That's a personal contract between you and the commitment. You have to write because it chemically sets you up to move. And as that chemical is released, and as you move in that way, the stronger you gain your momentum. When you hit, boom, the goal, whether it be the first part of it, the second part of it, the long range, the end game, wherever you hit the goal, the dopamine is released. And your desire is now of doing more and being more. Boy, goals sustain momentum. Remember flow, the optimal state of mental performance. Optimal. Alignment. Okay? Goals align your focus. Goal setting helps you align focus with behavior because you get feedback on your progress, meaning it's measurable. Okay? The actions you take or avoid offer clues about your values, your beliefs, your challenges, your strengths, and weaknesses, which allows you to course correct. Okay, so there's certain things you may not be able to do as you thought you could. Maybe it requires some measure of assistance on your part. Maybe it requires a redirection of an angle or approach. You write it, you analyze it, you keep moving. You don't stop. You're just recognizing at a certain point what's working and what's not, what you can back burner and what you can do in the motion, in the actionable motion that's leading you to your goal. All right. So the actions you take or avoid offers clues about your values, your beliefs, your challenges, your strengths and weaknesses, which allow you to course correct as necessary and reset your goal achievement strategy and subsequently your focus. All right, let me give you an example. Some of you have heard me say this before. Mr. Best often laughs about it. But one day, I want to say it was the beginning of the year of 2020. No, I'm sorry. It was in close to the end of 2019. My wife and I and family, we were heading to Hampton, Virginia to be there with the holiday last live event in the holiday season coming up on Christmas and Kwanzaa with Team Tidewater and Team Best. We had a wonderful time. But prior to leaving to head that way, I was sharing with Mr. Best where I saw myself being April 2020 in terms of Let's Go Weekend 9. I said, Mr. Best, I said, by 2020, by Let's Go 9, I'm going to have 40,000 people in my downline. He said, woo, boy, man, that's amazing. How close are you now? I said, I have 400. He said, okay, brother, I'm not one to step on anybody's dreams. He said, but you might be stretching it a little bit there. But I'm all right. I'm with you, man. Let's go. Well, I didn't quite get 40,000. What did I do? Well, I course corrected. Where necessary, I reset the goal, meaning the bar, the timeline, when and how I was going to accomplish it. And what happened in that process? Wa alaikum salam, Brother Roland Muhammad. What happened in that process? As I began to reset, I started to rediscover. I learned more about myself and where my actionable quests were leading to. So today, you have this brother who comes before you every morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Saturday, every evening, 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Saturday on YouTube, and now each Tuesday at 6 p.m. with our 90-day run to wealth. What did I learn about myself? I learned that I want to teach. I learned that I want to teach what I know. I learned that I want to share that value system with people who may understand the concept, but don't necessarily know the nuts and bolts of approaching it. So what did it allow me to do? It allowed me to be patient with success. It allowed me to give myself time to succeed, because in building a planet, it doesn't allow you necessarily to build your personal team. So you do have your challenges in growth, right? But if my focus is not that, and my focus is us, then the growth will come eventually. It'll come in its season. But for the most part, I am reaching the ultimate goal, which is fulfillment. I want people to be able to embrace this opportunity and do the best they absolutely can with it, because it's all going to lead to a future that we could have never written ourselves. You see? So I teach what I know. I make no apology or excuse for not knowing a thing. I just say, let me get back to you, or let me direct you to one of our senior partners, or let me direct you to another business team leader that can share the answer so that we both can know. I don't fake no jacks, as my daughter used to say. I'm not going to do that. I got too many years behind me. I have so few ahead of me. I'm going to make the most of everything that I do, and you should too. So alignment will allow you to reassess your approach to everything. It'll allow you to reassess your approach to everything. So that was just a little personal from me. I had a discussion yesterday with Sister Trish Mitchell. Man, I love Trish Mitchell. God knows. Look, we had a discussion. I'm not going to share what was actually said, because we put out a challenge to each other on what we like to accomplish between ourselves within this 90-day run, and see who's going to get there first. Okay. The Holy Quran, which is a scripture to Muslims, it urges us to vie in righteous competition. Vie with one another in righteous competition. So it was a great call that I received from Sister Trish. And you know what I discovered in that call? That I really love our people. In that call, I discovered it. I was able to walk through some of the things I had done. I was able to walk through some of the sacrifices my family made that they didn't make much of, and I didn't necessarily see. In that moment, I was made to reflect on my experience that I've shared with y'all once before with Brother Gregory and Sister Renee McKay in their home in Lansing, Michigan, and what it did, what it awakened in me, you know, and those experiences, that conversation that I often have with Sister Cece Mahone and others, man, I realized I love the easy out of us, you know, and I felt so good about feel so good about where I am in this dynamic. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be all that I need to be for everybody else, because everybody has personalities they appreciate. They have mentors that they absorb from. They have business partners that they can relate to. And I may not be either of those things. But for those that I am there for, I'll tell you, like I heard Big Dan Girolamo say in a video. He said, you can't say the right thing to the wrong people. You can't say the right thing to the wrong people. Whoever is meant for is meant for. So alignment, folks. Stay up on alignment. Goals and self-mastery. The fifth element that I wanted to share with you is that goal setting promotes self-mastery. Perhaps, what does it say here? Perhaps the most important reason why goals work is because they build character. I have to bear witness to that. They build character. Okay. Actually, achieving goals build character. While the process of goal setting is important because it helps unearth and identify what's truly important to you. Wow. Wow. I wrote this and didn't catch this. I'm going to start this again. Okay. Perhaps the most important reason why goals work is because they build character. Actually, achieving goals build character. This is what threw me. While the process of goal setting is important because it helps unearth and identify what's truly important to you, pursuing your goals is the real moneymaker, literally and figuratively, because it builds efficacy. That's it. Efficacy. It develops yourself as the type of person who can achieve goals. In other words, it allows you to prove to yourself that you can do it. That you can do it. Listen, so we had this 90-day run to wealth, right? Almost 200 of you subscribed to it before the deadline. And then about maybe 24 more brought people right along with them that put us over 200 people in this presentation, right? If you did not receive the replay link, check your email, check your phone for text messages. I sent it both ways. However, if you still feel that you have not received it, then reach back out to me and I'll be sure to get it to you. But this run is so powerful. When you identify how to make it, you ask the Creator, how am I going to make it? Look, how many of you ever heard before, you receive not because you ask not? How many of you ever heard that before? Just type me. If you ever heard, you receive not because you ask not. You see, if we could do it all by ourselves as individuals, we'd have no need for each other. We'd absolutely have no need for each other. But this is why the Creator created us, because in our scriptures, it says we were created in tribes and families so that we may all know one another. Every time period, every dispensation of life where you had people, there was always a warner, a messenger, a deliverer for that people, a prophet for that people, for that day, for that time. Every nation has its own term, right? Okay, so what does that absolutely mean? What that means is that we're created in dispensations and we're created with an outlook that allows us to learn each other. Why do you think so many languages exist in the world? Why so many cultures exist in the world? Why so many experiences, wonderments? Okay, people aren't made to do the same as the next person. Why is that? That is because we're created differently, each of us, to manifest that degree of gift from the Creator. You know, that degree of gift. That's right, Sister Toya. I see it says all the time, you ask and you shall receive. Yeah, you have to position yourself to want. And sometimes it doesn't come from you. This world is pregnant with a new reality. And we're being squeezed and pressured into producing it. So you can't go to work like you used to. You can't earn the monies like you used to. You can't do some of the things you were accustomed to, right? You're learning people and things. There's so many of us that were on the verge of just giving up on our families, giving up on our loved ones, giving up on relationships. And then God just brought everybody still, and everybody's being made now to reassess what is valuable, what is important, We're being made to remember why we were in this or came together in the first place. All kind of things are now happening because we're getting ready to come to birth. We're about to crown. June 10th, Wealth Builders. June 10th and June 20th. Those are the dates that were given to us by corporate in the corporate presentation yesterday. Karatbars. Those of you who are not a part of this opportunity yet, if you don't know, you need to get back to the one who introduced this to you and let them know you're ready to get started. I say it all of the time. You can't lose anything by following us, but you cannot gain anything if you don't. It's all free. It's all free. Okay, goal setting. Perhaps the most important reason why goals work is because they build character. Actually, achieving goals build character. While the process of goal setting is important because it helps unearth and identify that what's truly important to you, pursuing your goals is the real money maker, literally and figuratively, because it builds self-efficacy. It develops yourself as the type of person who can achieve goals. So when Richard Branson ran the 4-minute mile back in, 70, 71, 72, when he ran the 4-minute mile, 20,000 people followed right behind him and did it. Why? Because it had been proven to be done before. We live in a world here in Karatbars. I mean, literally live in a world in Karatbars where it befuddles everybody on the outside because they're like, how can you be so committed? How can you be so amped and hyped over this opportunity? What is it in it that you see? Because we can't see what you see. Well, it starts with a free position. You don't lose anything by signing up and looking inside. But from the outside, heck no, you're not going to see anything. It's like, who shows the baby developing in the womb? You don't see the baby till it comes to birth. June 10th, June 20th. These are the dates that corporate gave us. You might want to pay attention and be available for that corporate training. Hey, Sister April, you might want to be available. Now, last point I want to make before we close out. One of the last points. Okay. In week 3 of the 90-day run, okay, in week 3, that's 21 days from the 26th, this past 26th, okay? In that week, all of you who are part of the run are allowed to invite as your guest as many of your downline, as many of those that you have sponsored, as many of the prospects as you like, to include them in the 3rd week of the 90-day run. You're doing that because by that week, you will have accomplished, and you now can teach them and show them how to duplicate what you've done. And your team will explode with progress. But only that week. The 3rd week in each 90-day section, you're able to invite your new prospects, your new affiliates, others who are straddling on the fence, those you didn't consider in time for this portion of it, family and friends. You're able to invite everybody with a special link in that week to join the opportunity. And we're going to share and we're going to hear. And those success stories will show them that it can be done because they're following somebody who has done it. Y'all got it? Okay. Now, I'm messing up these screens here. I'm telling you, man, y'all got me so open. God is good. All right. So the goals, the 5 triggers. Sister Trish, I just finished giving a testimony about you. I'm glad you weren't there. Woo-woo, embarrassed skin. I was blubbering and everything. bring in everything. Okay. Look, the 5 things that the takeaways from this: goal setting. Goals trigger behavior. Goals guide focus. Goals develop flow. Goals create alignment. All right. And goals promote self-mastery. Hey, Brother Teddy Howard. Goals trigger behavior. Goals guide focus. Goals develop flow. Goals create alignment. And goals promote self-mastery. Goals lead to growth, family. Achieved goals help us to do better and be better. And I hope this opportunity today will have helped you do just that. So I appreciate the time that you have afforded us in making this presentation to you. I want you to keep in mind today, 10:45, we have the power call, 10:45 a.m. Eastern. Hey, Sister Gloria Bass. We have 10:45 Eastern, www.goldrocks.info, and then the 12 noon presentation. And then just after that, the 9 p.m. presentation, all on the same platform, www.goldrocks.info. Okay, you have a dial-in number that's on your screen there. The way to change the nature of our experiences is to change the nature of our thoughts, family. Believe it. And then, of course, tonight, I'm so doggone excited. I'm telling you, because to be able to hear from Dr. Sergio Rosell, man, to receive a teaching from this brother, and y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know. I've been waiting on this. Like, you know, I'm a groupie about a lot of things in Wealth Builders. I'm just telling you the truth. I am. But man, when you get the opportunity to draw from the well of people who achieved, and you know the adversities, you know what they faced with, and they achieve, man, you just want to sit at the feet and drink it all in. Me personally, out of all of the State of the Union presentations that Brother Carlito has developed there on the Kafani Radio Facebook page, on that platform, amazing platform, man, to hear all of them, and we heard from Dr. Rodney Roach, Mr. Amazing, Al Murray, Bustin' Loose, Cameron Gamble, who almost stole Mrs. Best, and Mr. Best admitted that last night. That was funny. Any rate, and then now we get to hear from Dr. Sergio Rosell. You know, well, I'll get out of my little groupie mode, but I'm going to be there. It is an action-packed day. You're right, Brother Danny. It is an action-packed day. I am going to be there. Let me share this also in closing. I follow or strive to follow everything that not only goes on in our world from the platforms, but I strive very hard to follow everything that you send me. Y'all send me a lot of material, and I try to read all of it. I try to hear all of it in some of the audios that I receive. Hey, Brother Richard Shoto, I try to follow the videos, all of it. And I may not have a response right away, but I don't want you to ever think that it's being ignored. You know, there's so much coming my way, and I do make room for it. The last probably 16 videos that I received, I think I've gone through all of them. Brother Gregory X. Powell, thank you, brother, for what you shared with me, parts 1 and 2 on the history of gold. That revelation is awesome. I saw some of it in one of them before, but I had never witnessed it like I did in those presentations you sent me yesterday and the day before. And I want to thank you for those. They were phenomenal. Share with everybody, family. Share with everyone. You don't know who you're going to affect. You don't know what trigger you're going to set off to make people run. Run for what? Run figuratively and literally. Run to save people, save humanity. We're in the world because we're agents of change. And the people that are being born into the world are the ones who are to benefit from the change. We got to make it ready for them. Share the information with everybody, every soul you possibly can. And don't worry about what they reject. You know, there was a bomb that was dropped in the corporate presentation yesterday. Check this out. Brother said there are people who come with objections, right? And you don't have to argue them. You don't have to debate them. You know where you are. But if you ask the one question, it trumps it all. So imagine someone coming to you, he says, your gold is just too expensive. Your response should be, compared to what? And let them answer. You see? And they'll realize how programmed and conditioned and trained they are to answer against that which they know not. Oh, nobody can get this. Nobody can do so and so and such as this is too expensive. This is too this is too that. And the response, single sentence, compared to what? Yeah, they normally guess it. Oh, is this a pyramid scheme? What is that? And wait for the answer. Many people don't even know what they're asking or saying. Look, we have the right opportunity ahead of time because we're here. Everybody right now is running for second place and they don't even know it. They don't even know it. So family, I thank you. It's been an honor. I want all of you to check your emails. Some of you did not sign up for the 90-day run to wealth, but many of you were gifted the opportunity by your fellow affiliates who put in additional and just asked us to put it towards someone else's experience. So there's probably about maybe 24 or so of you who have been gifted enrollment. And when you don't check your own information, you don't know. So check it out, okay? Check it out. That's right, Sister Cece. Thank God we're here. Absolutely. 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 Mr. Best Freedom Call presentation last night will also be available on the Eric Toure Muhammad YouTube channel. So check it out. Check it out. Check it out. All right. So with that being said, tonight is also Lucian with the Solution. There he is being embraced by his queen. The Thursday night empowerment call with Lucian with the Solution, Cheryl Ann Goldberg, and special guests tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, www.goldrocks.info. Having everything on the same platform is the bomb. I'm telling you. So make sure that you make it to all of these events. Family, thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you. I'll see us all at 10:45 a.m. with Brother Dante Taylor, Mr. Gold Collector himself, Eastern on the Power Call. Peace and power. Forward.
Peace. Strong words. Love. Soul. And change. Yeah, this is Big Snoop Dogg coming at you live and direct. And I got something to say. You dig?
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Brother, 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 what will you discover if we come together and do it like we never? I'm just sick and tired. I'm fit to light the fire. Now put this on the wire. The devil is a liar. I do this with no hesitation. Meet me at the reservation. Elevating, educating, meditating, concentrating. Replenish ya, finish ya, opposite of sinister. And I do it for the minister.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, so let's learn to love again. Let's make hope for the future.
Somebody need to stop the war. Man, the war ain't overseas, it's at your front door. And I done seen too many brothers shot up on the floor for more than drugs and some colors. And now you call us warlords. But if you can help it, then help it. But you ain't helping us. You so selfish and selfless, you wanna see us breathless and helpless. But I'ma hustle and tussle for all my brothers who struggle. Yeah, we bang the world. Now let's change the world.
Let's change the world. Divided we fall, united we stand. Let's change the world. No fights, no wars. Oh, let's learn to love again. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
No killing, no shooting, no dying, no lying, no gang banging, so no more mamas crying. Everybody get along, man, that be the perfect song. Peace in the streets as I sit back on my phone, chilling with the president. He let me in the White House, back to the castle with the minister, no doubt. Shoes at the front door, love is what you come for. Let's get it right and unite, but do it fine.
Let's change the world. Divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world. No fights, no wars. So let's learn to love again. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.